What up, though? This is Kurt Still, and welcome to Lunchtime Detroit Lions Talk, presented by Detroit Lions on the Prowl on the Belly Up Sports Podcast Network. My man Jim is out today, so hey, Jim, rest up, my man. But I got who? Coach Jones is in the building.
Who, Coach Jones? Who, Coach Mike Jones? What's going on, Lions fans?
Hey, today we got on the main course, we got the state of the franchise, talking about the running backs this time. And then, of course, we got your Detroit Lions on the Prowl Wall of Fame. We got your comment cards, we got your question of the day, and we got dessert with your man, Curt. So let's get this thing started.
Right now.
Let's go.
It's Detroit Lions talk, baby. Welcome back to the show, people. And today we are about to cover the Detroit Lions running backs in 2021, which is not exactly the deepest the deepest part of the team. So, Curt, tell me who we got first.
All right, so we got 3 running backs on the roster right now. The first up is supposed to be running back number 1, DeAndre Swift. Now, in his career, he only has 521 yards rushing, which came, well, he should have had more rushing yards because he should have started over Adrian Peterson last year. But he had 8 touchdowns last year on the ground. That's pretty good for not starting most of the games, and he missed time. So 8 touchdowns last year. Average rush per carry, 4.6 yards a carry. Woo, that's pretty good. Now, he did put the ball on the ground twice last year, and he lost 2 fumbles. So that's DeAndre Swift. Who you got next?
I got Kerryon Johnson. Kerryon Johnson has a career rushing of 1,225 yards. He also has 8 touchdowns with a pretty good 4.3 yard per carry average. That's pretty good. Mm-hmm. And then Kerryon, I think it's his 3 seasons he's been with the Lions.
Yep, 3.
He's had 3 fumbles. So that's not too bad. That's average of 1 fumble a season. So it's not too bad. Kerryon is a tale of 2 running backs who came out. He was really explosive his rookie season. Yeah. People were like, "That's the guy right there," and then he kind of just,
tailed off. Yeah, he tailed off.
Yeah. So we don't know, man. Kerryon Johnson is our mystery, is our question mark. He's the big question mark. How is he gonna come back? So
definitely. And then the last but not least, only the third running back we got on the roster, which is, a halfback, saying, and we talk about running backs, is Jamal Williams, the new fella, 1,985 yards, 10 rushing touchdowns. So he's been in the league 3 years as well, coming out of BYU, 10 rushing touchdowns. Now he's got a decent yards per average as well, 4 yards per carry. But here's the deal. He hasn't put the ball on the ground. No fumbles for the young man. I hope that continues in Detroit. Now, if we look at the PFF scores, really overall, the highest rated running back we have, according to PFF, is Jamal Williams at a 76.9 overall rating. Kerryon Johnson's at a 61.6, and DeAndre Swift is at a 69.4 for his. Now, the highest rated receiving back is DeAndre Swift at a 69.4 as well. So we have a small stable of running backs, to say the least. To say the least. I mean, for real. I mean, we, ain't a reason to sugarcoat it. I mean, we just don't have a lot of those cats on the roster. So what would you want to add if you had to add to this room? Who or what type of back would you want to add?
Actually, I would want to do one of each. I would want to do a scat back, and then I want to do a power back. But the guy that I have on my radar right now, his name is Trey Regis. He's from Louisiana, Lafayette.
Okay.
He's 5'11", and he's 230 pounds.
That's a big dude. That's a big dude. He's swole.
Yeah. He's swole. That's big swole right there. And Trey has actually had an 1,100-yard season in his college season. So in his college career, so he's a guy that I look at that might slip and fall out of the draft. Maybe he'll be an undrafted rookie free agent. Maybe he'll be a late round pick because they got him listed like 300 something. You know what I'm saying? But he's a good running back, man. So keep him on the radar.
I mean, because really, if you look at the running backs that we have right now on the roster, you look at these guys, they're all about the same size. They're around 6 feet, except for the little guy, DeAndre Swift. He's only 5'9". Right. But you got Jamal Williams at 6 feet. You got Kerryon Johnson at 5'11". And then they're all around 210 pounds, 206, 213, 215. They're all around the same size. So, you know, and the thing about Kerryon runs kind of upright. So he runs taller than what he, you know, you look at DeAndre Swift, he's lower to the ground. And Williams he runs kind of, you know, smaller, compact. Kerryon Johnson has that taller running style that he needs to get himself lower to the ground.
like a gazelle running down.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, he get himself a little lower to the ground. Maybe that will detract from the injuries. I don't know. I'm not saying, you know, and maybe Deuce Staley can, you know, get him to really change his running style. But one thing that Kerryon does bring to the table, he is by far one of the top pass blocking running backs in the league. Let's look at his PFF score on that. His pass blocking was elite. Wow. 84.8 rating for pass blocking for a running back. That's pretty good. You're talking no, that's like offensive lineman type level as far as a running back. That's the only elite score that are really run. No, Jamal Williams has an 83.8 in there as far as his running goes, but that's the highest elite score that we have as far as our running back room. Man, that's pretty good though. 84.4 for pass blocking for a running back is excellent.
Maybe Bob Quinn seen that and was like, you know what, we need a pass protector in the second round.
Yeah, maybe. So I mean, so what you will add a power back and another scat back. I think that you know, I think a power back will be good. I think between Swift and Williams, we got some good guys that can catch the ball out of the backfield and have good decent speed. So I wouldn't take another scat back, but I would take a big power back to get it down there in the goal line. But I will say this about Kerryon Johnson. He has, and maybe Jamal Williams a little bit, they have that kind of sneaky power. You can get them down in the goal line. You and I have seen Kerryon Johnson run some dudes over, you know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So he come out the SEC.
Yeah, you had to down there because that's is what it is. I mean, it has to come from his pops because you see his pops is swole. So I mean, he has a low center of gravity. He's got some pretty thick trunk, you know, thighs down there. So he's not a you know, he's not a tiny guy. So yeah. So you know, it is what it is. All right, let's kind of switch over to news and rumors. So the NFL owners agreed to 6 really comprehensive rule changes for the season. We're going to go over them right quick. All right. So one is a no-brainer, right? The first one is they eliminated overtime in the preseason. Why in the hell would you need overtime in the preseason?
I don't know, man. And that's a good thing, man. That just made sense.
Yeah, it just really makes sense to eliminate that in the preseason. It didn't make any reason.
It was a no-brainer.
Yeah, no-brainer. Okay, now here's the second one. They're establishing the maximum number of players in the setup zone for a free kick or a kickoff. All right, so basically, you really can put up toward the line. If you're the receiving team, you can put up to 10 players up toward the actual line, the kick line. So basically, you can put 9 on the line where for the blocking, and then basically you can just push back one returner. So basically, you can have more blockers up at the front of the line for a free kick, or we say what is a kickoff. The third one is replay officials can now provide certain objective information to the on-field officials. Now, it's not a sky judge, but basically what happens is that they have a replay official at the stadium, and they can provide guidance to the guys down there on the field before they call New York for a replay. Now, here's some things that they can help with: possession of the ball, completed or incompleted pass, touching of a loose ball on the boundary line, goal line, or end line. So basically, if it goes out of bounds, if it's a touchdown, what I'm saying, or the end line. So basically, if it goes out of bounds, a spot of the ball, if the player is in relation to the sidelines, line of scrimmage, or line of gain, or goal line. So basically, that goes along with the one before that, and then down by contact. So we're not ruled down on the field. They can advise the referees on the field, say, hey, I looked at this, and the guy was, he was not down, or he was down. Right. Of course, it's always that down by contact. We have a sketchy history with that rule, especially in that Thanksgiving game versus the Texans. The dude was definitely down by contact. Jim Schwartz challenged, which he couldn't do, and the touchdown was awarded erroneously. That was just a bad. Enforcement of number 4 is the enforcement of all penalties committed by either team on the extra point or 2-point conversions. This is rule. Basically, they want to make sure that if a foul occurs, either they're gonna retry it, or they're gonna accept the penalty on the next. It's basically to make sure either team, because I think it's a little bit wonky, especially when it comes to the defense, if they make a penalty on an extra point, 2-point conversion. It's just really just not. Now here's one that I really. So, if you have a forward, you only can throw the ball forward one time. So basically, if a pass is batted down and the quarterback catches it, or is batted in the air, he can't throw the ball again. So they just added a second, another penalty, a loss of down for that. So basically, if you do it, not only if you get penalized, is now a loss of down.
Wow, that's kind of just for the end of the game type scenarios when people try to do those flea flickers and all of that. So I think that's the only time that comes into play. I don't really think during the game that's a problem.
Yeah, because it's one of those things where, of course, you got to make sure they're trying to prevent those Music City miracles that happened back in the day I think it was the Tennessee Titans back then. So they got to make sure they throw the ball backwards or lateral to get and throw it forward. So I can understand that. But here's the biggest one, right? So the NFL says, hey, now you can have skill positions can have lower numbers. And that's on both sides of the ball. So quarterbacks can have 1 through 19, running backs can have 1 through 49, or 80 through 89. Wow. Boy, what's that running back that they had up in Green Bay? I know he's loving this. Tight ends can have 1 through 49 or 80 through 89. Yeah. Wide receivers can have the same 1 through 49 or 80 through 89. Wow. Now here's the linemen. They go down to 50 through 79. The defensive linemen can have 50 through 79 or 90 through 99. The linebackers can have 1 through 49. 1 through 59. 1 through 59 for linebackers, and then 90 through 99.
Wow, so it's a linebacker number 2.
Yep. And then the defensive backs can have 1 through 49.
Linebacker number 2 or 3.
Yeah, linebacker number 2. What's the guy's name out in at Washington football? Chase Young. They was talking about if they make this rule, they should classify him as a outside linebacker where he can wear his number 2 like he wore at Ohio State. So
so I don't know, man. That's a little chaotic when you think about it, because nobody wants to see receivers number 42. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
I
saying?
mean,
That's just
you can see it.
quarterback number 18. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah,
But
man, I don't know.
you look at it, you going back to those to the really the rules. I mean, except for quarterbacks, I mean, you going back to those old school rules they had back in the day when Bobby Lane was number 20, was number 20, 22 or whatever his name was. Yeah. So, but here's a note, right? So this is the kicker, right? So
29,
the
yeah, I think it's 22.
yeah. One note is that if a player decides to change his number for the 2021 season, they will have to personally buy out the remaining stock of their jerseys from distributors, according to ESPN's Kevin Seifert, who used to cover the NFC North for ESPN. If they want to change next year, they are not required to do so. So basically, they have to designate their number change a year prior. So like Jeff Okuda, before the end of last season, had to say that I want to change to 23. So
Right.
that's how he doesn't have to buy out all of the 30 jerseys for this year. So he had to do it prior to the league year starting. If he wants to change back to his number one, he gonna have to buy out. So basically, if you don't have long paper, you pretty much stuck with the number you got until next season. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But here's the kicker, though. It doesn't apply to the rookies, so the rookies can come in that they get drafted and they can wear whatever number they want to wear.
Right.
So those young guys that's coming in, they can wear whatever number. And if they get a number a veteran wants, the veteran gonna be, they're gonna be like, hey man, you can have this number. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But you got to come off that paper because a lot of players, a lot of veterans when they either come into a team or they use, like Tom Brady went down there in Tampa. He took over 12 from Godwin, but I don't think it was a big thing for Godwin. He was like, I'll just change him. I don't think he really charged him anything, but it was just one of those things where he was just like, you're number 12. You'll always be number 12.
Yeah, TB 12, man.
TB 12. I mean, we're not gonna do that, but
13.
Yeah. So it's one of those things. So, but that's the rule changes. But you look at that, you're gonna have some interesting numbers next year. I mean, you're gonna have some wide receivers out there, number 5, number 4. You know what I'm saying, out there. So the one group that it didn't apply to was punters and kickers. They're still kind of just stuck down there in those lower numbers. Like I don't want to see like Rodriguez out there at Georgia or number 99 or whatever it was. So I don't want to see a kicker wearing that. So not in the NFL, but I mean, you have some positions, linebacker number 6. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's Micah Parsons might like that, man.
We're number. He can put his 11 back on. What now? I like the way Temple does it. Like their lower numbers are for their star players, so you have to earn a single digit number on Temple. Okay. So maybe an NFL team may do that. You have to, but I doubt that though because they're getting paid. So, but I like that in college where Temple says if you want a single digit number, you're gonna have to earn it. You're gonna have to be one of the stars on the team, and we'll award you a lower number, a single digit number. So, I mean, but
I like that, man. Especially when you still in college and you got to earn. I mean, you got to earn it in the NFL too, but especially in college when you're trying to earn something, make a name for yourself, man. That's a good idea.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so let's move over to now the Detroit Lions on a Prowl trivia question today. It was kind of a little bit too many answers to the same question, so we're not going to cover that today. And basically, the question was, who was the Lions quarterback when Barry Sanders played for the Lions? And that's just a plethora of answers that they can give, and all of them will be right. I mean, you can go from Scott Mitchell to Eric Kramer to Scott Mitchell. So there was a ton of quarterbacks that played for the Lions during Barry Sanders' tenure. So if you answer the question and one of those guys, Rodney Peete, you got it right. So we're not. So let's go over to the Wall of Fame. For the Wall of Fame today, of course, we have our bronze members: Detroit Drew, Midwest Lion, Bubba Bo, John Kapler, Detroit Lions Talk with Micro Mike, Crystal Riley, Art Allen, and Steve Castillo. Okay, now we have a man, North End Camden, moved over to the Silver Members Group. Jason Portis, No Miss J, and Go Lions. And rounding out our Go members, of course, we have Bob Corso, Turner C. Burley, Just in the D, Show Me BC, Randall Flag 606, Miles Gibbs, Randy Prince, the Gridiron Blitz, and the Dr. Detroit. He is always in.
Yeah.
To learn more about becoming a member of the channel, definitely you can go over and click the Join Now button in the description below to learn how to become a member of the channel and get your name on the Wall of Fame. All right, so next up, definitely we have your comment cards. So what you had to say about yesterday's show. You know what, Mike, you can go first.
Yeah. So Doug Prince 72 says, what determines a draft success or bust? My opinion is this: team fit for utilization. That's it. Meaning Brady is drafted by, say, the Browns. Maybe he never wins a Super Bowl. Kelvin is drafted by the Dallas Cowboys. Maybe he never makes the Hall of Fame. It's how a team uses the player they draft him. Does that player have the mindset and coaching to enable them to succeed? Yeah, I mean that is a big part.
Yeah,
I mean it is, because you know certain players go certain places and they're not that player. So
yeah,
I get it.
That's definitely it. I like that. Doug Prince 72. All right, Rob James says, what would be perfect if Denver wants a quarterback at the Lions pick at number 7 and wants to move up? We get their number 9 pick and number 40 overall, and go along with our number 41 pick. Take a linebacker, Micah Parsons, and then a wide receiver, defensive back, or safety in round 2. Okay. That's a good scenario. I mean, I'm still ain't really sold on the Micah Parsons deal, but hey, you know, if he's there, I mean, I would say this: I still would draft him at number 9.
No,
I wouldn't draft him at number 9. If it was later on down the draft, yeah, I'm just not so. Especially at number 9, I just don't trust him at number 9.
Right. Maybe at 15. Say we trade with the Patriots. Maybe at 15. He would start to move into consideration, but Tevin Jenkins is still there, so I don't know, man.
Yeah, in the top 10, I think really, to be honest with you, the only really defensive player I see in the top 10 is Patrick Surtain, the second out of Alabama, that corner. Him or Fairley. Those are the only two like defensive players I see in this draft that deserve like a top 10 draft pick. All right, what you got next, Mike?
Lions Roar 74. I don't get why so many people are wanting us to stock up on defense through this draft. I get we were last in the league, but I don't think it was due to a lack of talent. I thought that many times they looked confused on assignments and even looked like they gave up on plays, and I remember thinking it looked like they were trying to get Patricia fired. They get maybe. He said, I know we need a linebacker, but D-line is good, and I think the secondary is still really young and coachable.
Mm-hmm.
This is an offensive-rich draft this year, so why not get offensive talent in an offensive talented draft class and address the defense next year when it looks like it's going to be loaded with defensive talent? Just wanted to get that off my chest. Love the show. Man, Lions War, man. You know what? Salute to you. Well, I gotta use my right hand. Salute to you. I understand what you're saying. You know, I know a lot of people are on that. We need defense. But I mean, you know, if you look at it, it is an offensive rich draft. So why look for your talent in the defensive rich supposed to be draft and not in the offensive rich draft? So you know, I get it. I get your philosophy. I do. So,
but I think, you know, and I think we can address some of our holds on defense, especially not in, I would say, second round, third round. We got 2 picks in the third round. You can go over there and address the defense. I think we can get a good safety back there and maybe a linebacker in this, because you're going to have some guys who's going to drop in the defense out of the first round. He's just going to have it. I mean,
yeah, and there's that one guy from Pittsburgh. I don't know if you've seen him or not.
I heard you talking about him. I saw that.
He's a one technique, sometimes three technique. He had 40 reps on the bench. Okay.
Wow.
And he had a 32.5-inch vertical leap, and he had 10.5 sacks from the interior pass rush. And he's the first interior defensive tackle on Pittsburgh to do that since who? Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
And you know who drafted, who helped draft Aaron Donald? Brad Holmes. So hey, I feel you. All right. Next up we have Paul Gerosas. Hey, we mess up names here. All right. To add to my comment, I was 12 years old, sitting in the kitchen, listening to the Lions' victory over the Browns. Wow. Okay. This was from yesterday. A couple days ago when the guy was he remembers the 57 championship because because the game was in Detroit and I was blacked out. Back in the day, that was what they did. Oh, okay. The championship game was blacked out because it was in Detroit. Okay. To add the next preseason, they lost to the college all-stars. Though I am a Niners fan, I am a Lions fan first, and fellow to the Lions, thanks to the Lions on the Prowl. I'm kind of reading how I wrote it. How he wrote it.
Yeah.
But hey, if you remember that, and man, you talk about a guy who has some, experience in life. What I'm saying, to live that long. That he actually listened to the Lions championship game the last time and they beat the Browns. And he remembers that they lost to the college all-stars in the preseason the next year.
Right.
That's a memory right there. Because a lot of people that age, hell, I can't remember what I'm going into the pantry for half the time.
Right.
So I gotta stop thinking about it. But hey, that's what's up, man. I can't salute to you for remembering all the way back then.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy, man. Because I don't even think that it wasn't even NFL then.
Yeah, it was the NFL. It wasn't Super Bowls. It was the NFL.
Right. Oh, okay. Yeah.
He was the NFL. It was the NFL.
I'm just playing, man. The artist formerly known as PC Paylord, wide receiver solution. Trade down from 7, acquire a couple of later round picks. Draft at least 2 receivers, 2nd round, 7th round. No need to draft a receiver at number 7 with such a deep 2021 class. Problem on the way to being solved. I like that.
You know what? I think Mel Kiper on his latest draft had us. I don't know why he did, but he had us taking Michael Parsons in the 1st round. We traded back. And then he had us picking, I think, consecutive picks in the 3rd round or the 2nd and 3rd round for wide receivers. I mean, we know. I mean, we talked about, Jim and I talked about this yesterday about the Lions wide receiver room being rated the lowest in the actual league. Not in the NFC North, not in the NFC, in the entire league. We got the worst receiving core. I think, like I've said this several times, we got what we want. We want to speed guys. We didn't get who we want. Jim said,
"We never get who we want."
Yeah, Jim said. He said I asked for speed. He said I should have asked for speed and catching.
You should have.
Yeah, be careful what you ask for.
Right.
All right. Last but not least, Big SJ says golf mobility is all the more reason to beef up our offensive line. I hope Sewell or Slater are there at 7. Get the line solidified, then look for wide receivers. Now, it is getting more and more this national media where I think that they're starting to come over to that. The Lions should draft offensive line. Or Dan Orlovsky said that the other day. He said the Lions shouldn't, they're not looking for a wide receiver in the 1st round. They should be drafting offensive line. And that's just really, really key. I think that they need to be drafting the offensive lineman. to beef up that right side of our offensive line.
Yeah.
I think, I think at the guard position, we should be, we could be decently prepared for that right side of the offensive line for our guard, but we need that right tackle because we can kick Big V in.
Yeah.
So,
you know what, man? It's just like this. Is like I'm just not in favor of drafting Sewell or Slater at 7. I just don't believe that if you draft a guy in the top 10, you change his position. Because we just signed Taylor Decker to a new contract. So he's gonna be here for a while.
Now the only thing with that is that Slater himself played 3 seasons at right tackle at Northwestern, and then he switched to left tackle. So I mean, I can't remember where I heard this. I believe it was.
I didn't know he played that many seasons. I thought he played. Okay, wow. Okay, okay. Slater, come on down then.
I heard it yesterday, and it was on NFL XM Radio. They were talking about where the position has, what position has had the better careers in the first round, and the most successful careers for a position in the first rounds are what? Offensive linemen. Let's have the best careers in the league at drafting in the first round. We're talking about overall for a position because you're going to have some Hall of Famers, quarterbacks and stuff like that, maybe some wide receivers. But overall, the best careers in the league have been in the first round have been offensive linemen. Wow. I mean, and that's something that I really want us to run the ball and play action, and because I know it suits Jared Goff and his talents, but any quarterback can come in, and if you build a solid offensive line that can block and run block and pass block, I mean any quarterback can thrive behind a good offensive line. I mean, you look at Dak Prescott. You think...
I'm sorry.
I mean, you think
look at Dak Prescott. Oh man.
I mean, I put it like this. Do you think that he would, especially early in his career, would have put those numbers up that he did if it wasn't for the offensive line? I mean, he had time to throw the ball. Right. You know what I'm saying? So that really made him, successful, the offensive line. I'm not saying he's not a good player, but I'm just saying he had a good.
I know. It just sounded funny.
Okay, even look at Jared Goff. People say that Jared Goff's a step down from Matthew Stafford, but he had success out there behind a wonderful offensive line out there in LA / St. Louis. So, that just speaks volume. All right. So the question of the day for today is, what do you think the Lions should add to their running back room? I mean, if they got to add somebody because 3 ain't enough. So what do you think they should add to their running back room? So that's the question of today. And now it is time for Dessert with your man, Curt. And it's just that me and my other co-hosts for Die Hard Den will be back in the studio tonight, bring you some more content for the Die Hard Den podcast. Last week, we didn't have a show. It was just a scheduling conflict, and we just couldn't bring you some content. And I will be bringing you a talk I had with my first co-host of the Die Hard Den is coming to you soon with my man Woods Fattore. So we're going to sit down and chop it up to see what he's been doing since he left the Die Hard Den. So that is the dessert for today. What are your final thoughts for today's show, Big Mike?
This has kind of got lost in the mix between me coaching and me being brought onto this show. I've kind of forgot that I have a YouTube page. Okay.
There's a YouTube channel. It's in the description. It's in the description.
But and I haven't uploaded content in a while. But it's OMG is Lions Talk. That is my YouTube page. I'm probably gonna cover the draft in total, maybe after it's finished, unless something really crazy happens in the first round and I just got to, you know what I'm saying? But I'm probably gonna do a draft, rundown, and I'm gonna get that page back going. There's been a lot going on, and Yeah, OMG is Lions Talk, man. If you haven't checked it out before, you should check it out. The content, it gets better and better down when you go down the Rolodex as I improve on the quality and things of that nature. But just check it out, man. And there's gonna be a lot more to come, and it's gonna be a lot more polished. So yeah.
Yeah. Now, if you don't know, this is where Jim and I met on OMG It's Lions Talk. That's where Jim and I started. So we started together over there on OMG It's Lions Talk. That's where we met. We kind of, hooked up. Then Jim came over and did Die Hard. Then I went over and did Who's in the Room with Jim. And then we formed our partnership over here at Detroit Lions on the Prowl. And now we got Mike. We got RachelMarieSports. So we got a roster for you guys. So, sometimes you're just going to see some different faces right here on Detroit Lions on the Prowl. My final thoughts for today is that, people, we are 1 week away finally for the NFL draft. So, all the mock drafts are going to be over real soon, and you don't have to worry about pre-draft coverage. Now you're going to get some post-draft coverage, and you're going to see us breaking down the roster with the changes for the Lions going forward. So, hey, it is Thursday. Hey, relax. You know what I'm saying? The week is almost over. Tomorrow, don't forget, it is Free for All Friday over on our YouTube channel. We will be doing a live show at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time right there on our YouTube channel. So right here, it'll be the same bat time, but we'll be streaming live. And you don't know who's going to pop in for the Free for All Friday for lunchtime Detroit Lions talk. So, hey, you know what you got to do. Please subscribe to the channel. Join the family, because we don't have fans. We don't have viewers. We got family, and it's all love right here on Detroit Lions on the Prowl. And if you're going to get some Lions gear, go over to Fanatics. Click the link below. You're going to buy it anyway. So click the link below. Get yourself some fresh, hot, new Lions gear. They got some new hats out, so we'll be on the lookout, because Kurt got them hats. So you can go over there and check it out, and a portion of the proceeds from those sales on that link go to help us grow this show with more content for you. And you can check us out over on bellyupsports.com, and a bunch of different podcasts are over there on that platform. So check us out over there on bellyupsports.com. And and if you just want to read some stuff, man, they got some great articles by some talented writers. They're going to give you some more breakdown on any sport that you want, especially with the NFL rule changes. I know they got some great articles already written over there on bellyupsports.com. So the weekend is here tomorrow. So go ahead, grind out at work. You got 2 more days, and then it's the weekend. So go ahead and enjoy it. Grind it out, work hard, play hard, and just love yourself, love others, be with your family, enjoy yourself, and treat each other the way that you want to be treated. And as you go about today, you know what you got to do, baby. You got to boss up, ball out, and be the best version of you that you can be. From my man, Mike, this is Curt Steele, and we will holler at you real soon.